So we will be starting with aircraft air refrigeration system. So I'll just show you that part. This part you can see air refrigeration system. In that we have Bell-Coleman cycle which we have completed. Okay, now after that next we will see aircraft air refrigeration system. So it is a big part over here. So we have different methods of aircraft air refrigeration system. So one by one we will see all the methods. So first question is, what is the need of this aircraft air refrigeration system? So if you consider layers of Earth's atmosphere, we have troposphere, first layer, then stratosphere, mesosphere, thermosphere and exosphere. Now here you can see on y-axis we have altitude, and if you see the x-axis, temperature has been shown. So if you consider aircraft flies where? In troposphere. And if you take a particular example of height, from this graph you can calculate what is the temperature. So around -50 degrees Celsius you can consider. Okay, external temperature to the aircraft, it is how much? -50. So -50 temperature is there, then why should we do air conditioning? Why aircraft air refrigeration is required? It is already cold, no? We can supply hot air. Then why again cooling is required? So to answer this question, we will see the next slide. Okay, so aircraft cruise at an altitude of 35,000 feet, that is 10.668 kilometer. Now this depends on type of aircraft. Okay, passenger aircraft is there, air force aircraft, military aircraft is there, then cargo aircraft is there. For different aircraft, the altitude will be different. It can be 45,000 feet as well. So at 35,000 feet, ambient temperature is how much? -50 degrees Celsius, and the pressure is approximately 0.15 bar. Now for human beings, how much pressure is required? 1 atmospheric pressure. Okay, and temperature required is also higher as compared to -50 degree. So what is the objective of this aircraft air refrigeration system? To pressurize the cabin. So what is the need? To pressurize the cabin. Cabin means what? Compartment, the area where passengers sit. Okay, or you can call it as cockpit. If cockpit is there, then the pilot will sit over there. So to pressurize the cabin up to 1.01325 bar pressure, since with altitude pressure decreases. So here I have given the example of that. So if altitude is 35,000 feet, approximately pressure is 0.15 bar. What is the next purpose? To maintain the temperature up to 25 degrees Celsius, and outside temperature may be around -50. Next purpose is ventilation. Okay, so passengers inside, they are releasing carbon dioxide, then they are eating food inside the aircraft. So ventilation is required, otherwise there will be foul smell inside the aircraft. And next one is to remove the heat like occupancy load. Okay, so we'll see what is this occupancy load now. So occupancy load means what? Occupants which are sitting in the cabin. So suppose for example, we consider human being, and human being is having, suppose for example they are sitting, so they have 90 watt of sensible heat and 30 watt of latent heat. Now what do you mean by this latent heat? Latent heat means sweat. So 90 watt of sensible heat and 30 watt of latent heat from a person. For example, we'll consider this as 100 watt for simplicity. Okay, 100 watt. For example, we'll consider there are 200 passengers in the aircraft. So convert this watt into kilowatt, you will get 0.1 kilowatt. And how many passengers did I tell? Total passengers are 200. So what will be the tonnage required? How to calculate tonnage? 200 multiplied by 0.1 kilowatt divided by 3.5. So from here you will get tonnage. What is the tonnage? From here you will get 5.7 TR. So from here what you can understand is 200 occupants. If you are considering 100 watt per occupant, what is the tonnage required in aircraft? 5.7 TR. Next is what? Avionics heat generation. So inside the cockpit and even in the cabin part, when passengers are there, there might be some avionics. Okay, mainly avionics is in the cockpit, but some electronics part might be there in the cabin part as well. So heat is generated. So that heat also we have to remove. So this is one more component of the heat. Next component is heat via conduction, skin friction drag. So now this skin friction drag, it is proportional to velocity square. So velocity of aircraft, if you consider it is around 1000 km per hour, in that case you can understand what will be, it will be square times. Okay, so heat conduction from the surface of the aircraft because of skin friction drag. And next one is solar radiation. Now what is this solar radiation? If you consider standard solar radiation, it is 1353 watt per meter square. Okay, now this is the standard which we consider. You will study this solar value 1353 watt per meter square when you study the subjects related to renewable energy sources. Okay, so that is the standard which we consider radiation which comes to the earth. Actually whatever we get on earth, it will be less than that. Okay, but if you consider the aircraft, it is at higher altitude. So for example, we'll consider 1000 watt per meter square of solar radiation. Now you know aircraft is very big, so that meter square area of the aircraft surface area, it will be very big. So you have to multiply 1000, you will get what? Total wattage of that radiation which is falling on the surface of the aeroplane. Okay, so next source of heat is solar radiation. So these are the different sources of heat which is there in case of aircraft. Now if you consider this skin friction drag, we'll see one example, one small derivation, and based on that we'll see what is the actual amount of what is the temperature which we are getting at the inlet of the aircraft. Okay, so to understand that, what we'll do is I'll show the engine of the aircraft. Okay, so suppose this is engine of the aircraft and this is point 1 which is surrounding, and this inside part is point 2. Okay, now air is moving in this direction. So basically air is stagnant and aircraft is moving in this direction. So it is as if like we are keeping the aircraft stationary and air is moving towards left. You can consider like that also. So this point number 1 will have some energy. Okay, now you have studied that steady flow energy equation. What all energies that has? It has Q. So Q minus W is m dot change in kinetic energy plus change in potential energy plus change in enthalpy. This is steady flow energy equation. Now here we will consider a process 1 to 2 which is called RAM. Okay, this action is called RAM action. Okay, RAM. So RAM. Now what happens because of this RAM action is the air, it is compressed. Okay, it is compressed because of the velocity. See now aircraft is moving with certain velocity v, suppose. So because of that, what will happen is air will strike the aircraft and this pressure will increase and there will be compression. Okay, now if you remember the Bell-Coleman cycle, what was the first process there? Compression. So here this ramming action, it takes the help of velocity of aircraft to increase the pressure of air before it goes to the compressor part of the engine. So inside the engine you will have here, suppose this part is turbine part. Here we have compressor. So this is compressor. Here you will have some fuel injection part, and then after that we'll have turbine. Okay, this part will be turbine. So first part is compressor inside the engine of the aircraft. So what happens is during 1 to 2 process, this process is RAM. Okay, RAM action. So in that case, what happens is we consider it theoretically to be isentropic process. So isentropic means reversible, adiabatic means Q is 0. Then for 1 to 2 process, work done, we are not supplying any work, so work is 0. Potential energy is 0. So what is remaining? Change in kinetic energy and change in enthalpy. So what we can write is kinetic energy plus enthalpy of point 1 is equal to kinetic energy plus enthalpy of point 2. Now since point 2 velocity approximately it becomes 0, so kinetic energy is 0 at point 2. So what we can write over here is kinetic energy plus enthalpy at point 1 is equal to enthalpy at point 2, and enthalpy we can replace for air as Cp into T. So this will become Cp T1 and this enthalpy will be Cp into T2. So from here what we can do is we can write down the formula, substitute value of kinetic energy. Okay, it will be mass we are cancelling. Okay, m dot we are cancelling on both the sides. So it will be V bar velocity square, V bar square upon 2000. Why this 2000? Because we are converting joule, whatever joule is there, into kilojoule per kg into, this will become joule per kg into kilojoule per kg. That is why we are dividing by 1000, plus this will become Cp into T1 is equal to, on right hand side we will have Cp into T2. So from here we can derive a formula, final formula of T2. So T2 will be equal to, please note down this formula, T2 is equal to T1. So this Cp is going on this side, so Cp and Cp will get cancelled, so we'll have T1 plus V bar square upon 2000 into Cp. Now what is this formula indicating over here? Suppose velocity of aircraft is given in question in numerical. So velocity is given, Cp value for air is 1.005. So if you substitute velocity, if you substitute Cp value, and if you have atmospheric temperature, you can get what is T2 temperature because of isentropic ram action. Okay, very important formula. Please note down this formula. We will be using this formula while solving numericals. Now for example, if you consider this equation, in this example, suppose I consider aircraft is moving with 900 kilometer per hour. Okay, velocity is 900 kilometer per hour. So what equation of T2 you will get? T2 will be equal to T1 plus some value. Okay, and that value, if you substitute this, convert this 900 kilometer per hour to meter per second, so multiply by 1000 divided by 3600, and Cp is 1.005 kilojoule per kg Kelvin. So from here you will get this value as 31.1. So you can understand that this T2 temperature, only by this screen friction, because of this ramming action, you can see the temperature. If it is you can substitute T1 temperature value. Suppose this T1 is minus 50. So minus 50 plus 31.1, you will get T2 temperature. It's like that. Okay, so we'll see the next part now. So we have seen what is the need of aircraft air refrigeration system. What is the need? To pressurize the cabin, then to maintain the temperature of cabin up to 25 degrees Celsius, and to remove occupancy load, which can be sensible heat and latent heat, avionics heat generation, heat conduction because of skin friction drag, and solar radiation. So because of that, inside the temperature will rise and we have to maintain 25 degrees Celsius temperature. Next one, why use air cycle in case of aircraft? and not the refrigerant which you use at your home. If you see your refrigerator, maybe R600A is used as refrigerant. We don't use R600A in aircraft. We use air as refrigerant in aircraft. Why is that? So first is, air is free. Environmentally, it doesn't harm the environment. It is safe and non-toxic. This is first reason why we use air cycle in case of aircraft. Second is, air cycle equipment is extremely reliable, reducing maintenance cost and system downtime. And next one is, the performance of an air cycle unit does not deteriorate as much as vapor compression refrigeration unit when operating away from its design point. So these are the three reasons because of which we use air as refrigerant in aircraft. Now, what are the advantages of air cycle for airplane refrigeration system? So first advantage is no cost of refrigerant. Air is easily available. Second one, air is non-toxic, non-flammable. Minor leakage in the system doesn't pose any problem. So if air which is used as a refrigerant in case of aircraft, if it leaks, it doesn't create any problem. But if you consider your refrigerator, where suppose R600A is being used as refrigerant, and it has copper pipe, and suppose that pipe gets damaged and that refrigerant leaks, so it will be toxic to you, as well as what is the second thing, if the refrigerant leaks, your refrigerator will not work. So this is the problem. So even with minor leakage, if air is used as refrigerant, then it will not be that much problem. Definitely your cooling capacity will reduce. Next, since main compressor is used for the air refrigeration system, no problem of space for extra compressor is there. So if you are using some refrigerant other than air, you will require some compressor which can handle that refrigerant. But since we are using air as refrigerant, whatever aircraft engine has the compressor, okay, aircraft engine has compressor, combustion chamber and turbine, and then nozzle. So whatever compressor of engine is there, from there itself we bleed the air for air refrigeration system. So we don't require separate compressor. So no space, extra space is required for compressor. What is the next advantage? Air is light in weight per ton of refrigeration. And next one is, if you consider refrigerator, I'll give you some example for this point. Okay. So if you consider refrigerator, what happens is, suppose this is the freezer box. Okay. So freezer box, in the internal construction will be such that this part of the freezer will have refrigerant. So here you can see this part of the freezer will have refrigerant. Okay. So when you keep your food product inside the freezer, what happens is, this refrigerant, first it cools the air and then air cools the product. It's like that. Or there will be direct conduction, and here the product can lose heat to the refrigerant. It is like this. But in case of aircraft, what happens is, directly whatever air which is being chilled, it is directly supplied to the cabin. So extra evaporator or freezer like compartment is not required. So same thing has been written over here. Chilled air is directly used for refrigeration, thereby eliminating the cost of separate evaporator. Next advantage of air cycle in case of aeroplane refrigeration is, since the pressure in the whole system is quite low, therefore piping, ducting, etc., it is simple to design, fabricate and maintain. Okay, so pressure inside the whole system is low. So what will happen? Whatever thickness of the tubing or piping is required, it will be what? Low. What are the disadvantages of using air cycle for airplane refrigeration? So first major disadvantage is low COP. This is the reason why we don't use air as refrigerant in case of our home appliances. So if you consider COP, roughly this COP of aircraft air refrigeration, it depends on different type, but roughly that value is around 0.4. Okay, it can be less also. It can be less also. So I'm just giving you some values over here. So in case of air refrigeration system aircraft, COP is around 0.4. Now if you consider COP of refrigerator, which uses vapor compression refrigeration system, that COP is around 3.5. So you can understand the difference in coefficient of performance. When you are using air as refrigerant in case of aircraft, COP is 0.4. But when you are using some refrigerant, in that case, when we are using vapor compression refrigeration system, COP is 3.5. So this is the reason why we use vapor compression refrigeration system in case of home appliances. Now what is the next disadvantage of this air cycle? Rate of air circulation is relatively large as sensible heating of refrigerant takes place. Now what happens in case of, what is the difference between this air cycle and vapor compression cycle? We'll see that. What happens in air cycle is, air is directly, cold air, it is directly sent to the cabin. Okay, suppose this is the cabin, so cold air is directly sent to the cabin. So what will happen? This cold air, it will pick heat from avionics, from occupants and other sources, like because of the conduction due to skin friction drag, whatever all the heat is there, it will pick up the heat, and that air, it goes back to the atmosphere, suppose. So in this case, what happens? There is sensible heating of refrigerant. So air, cold air enters, that air takes the heat, its temperature increases, and that air goes back to the atmosphere. So here if you see in air cycle, there is sensible heating. But when you consider vapor compression refrigeration system, what happens? In evaporator, liquid refrigerant enters. Okay, that liquid refrigerant, it takes the heat from the food products and it gets converted into vapor. We are talking about vapor compression refrigeration system now. So here you can see which type of heat is involved, latent heat. So when sensible heating is there, okay, when sensible heating is there, in case of aircraft, mass flow rate of air circulation is more because the sensible heating is there. And when latent heating is there, in vapor compression refrigeration system, we will see this in module number 2, VCRS. In that case, what happens is, liquid gets converted into vapor. There is phase change when it is absorbing the heat in freezer. So in that case, whatever the circulation rate is there of refrigerant, that is less. So that is why this point has been written over here. Rate of air circulation is relatively large as there is sensible heating of refrigerant in case of air cycle. Next is freezing of moisture. So suppose moisture is there in the cabin, so what will happen? That moisture will freeze. Okay, so these are the disadvantages of air cycle. Now there are different methods of refrigeration, air refrigeration system of aircraft. So there are 6 methods. First one is simple air cooling system. Second one is simple air evaporative cooling system. Third is bootstrap air cooling system. Fourth is bootstrap air evaporative cooling system. Reduced ambient air cooling system. And last one is regenerative air cooling system. So in next lecture, we will start with the theory part of simple air cooling system, and along with that we will be solving one numerical of simple air cooling system.